Thank you to everyone who's gotten the cookbook so far. I have both of these available right now, both in Kindle and paperback, like you see here. The link is down below if you're interested in buying these, and let's get started. Hey there, my meaty friends. Today I'm making the McDonald's Filet-o-Fish, but as carnivore as possible. It's a rather simple sandwich consisting of a bun, a fried fish patty, tartar sauce, and a half a slice of American cheese. Why the half slice? I don't know. Either way, let's get started.
The sauce.
For our tartar sauce, we're going to need a blender or a food processor. To that, add in 4 ounces of cream cheese and about 6 ounces of sour cream. For the seasoning, add in about an 1/8 teaspoon of dill weed, an 1/8 teaspoon of black pepper, about a half teaspoon of salt, a half teaspoon of onion powder, and a good 2 teaspoons of vinegar. I use the vinegar and the dill to kind of take place of the normal dill pickle relish, and it didn't really work out in the beginning, but after tasting, I made some adjustments with an extra teaspoon of vinegar and just a little bit of garlic powder. It's not perfect by any means, and I really think that you should use lemon juice here and maybe even some Worcestershire sauce to kind of add that depth of flavor to it, but this works nonetheless. After tasting it the second time, it's almost on its way to being a French onion dip, but it will work for today's purposes. If you want to make this a straight up carnivore sauce, add in a little bit of onion and dill relish. Let this chill out in the fridge while we make
The bun.
This is my bun recipe that I've used many times now, but for today we're going to be using 4 ounces of cooked ground chicken, about 1 ounce of ground pork rinds, 3 eggs, 1 ounce of cream cheese, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and a half teaspoon of baking powder. The biggest difference in this one is that I use ground chicken instead of ground beef, just because I thought I'd make a nice light bun. And to be honest, I was right. Give this a quick and paranoid blend because people are definitely watching you through the window right now. Try to act inconspicuous while you line a baking sheet with parchment paper, and then pull out your undercover silicone molds. Fill both of these molds up to the edge with your batter. I highly suggest getting something like this, especially silicone, because whenever I've tried to make these buns without a mold, they end up being flatter than Hank Hill's ass. Now it's time for
The fish.
to a bowl or even pie plate. Add in 3 eggs and season up with about a half teaspoon of salt, or 50-50 salt and Creole seasoning like I'm doing. Once your eggs are nice and homogeneous, add in about 3 ounces of ground pork rinds. Continue forking this until you realize, this is probably going to be way too thick, which at that point, add in another egg. Whisk that in as well, and then we can move on to our fish. According to the McDonald's website, they use wild-caught Alaskan pollock for their Filet-o-Fish sandwiches. Today, I'm going to be using probably not wild-caught frozen cod from Walmart. All you need to do is dry it off, season up with a little salt, and we can add this directly to our batter. Now, the batter's not going to want to stick very well, but you just got to do what you can with this. Just coat both sides as evenly as possible, and set it aside while we set up our frying station. To pan fry this fish, we're going to place a pan over medium heat and add in about a 1/3 cup of beef tallow or oil of your choice. Just please don't use any seed oils. The first piece that I laid down here was pulled straight from the pan with the batter, but once I picked it up, I realized that the bottom of the fish did not have any of the coating stuck to it. So what I did instead for the second one was place the top side down, because I knew it had good coating, and then just coated it with some more of my batter. As you can see here, flipping the first one was a big mess just because there wasn't a good barrier of coating. The second one had a much better time frying, and so I went with that one for the picture, obviously. They're both still great pieces of fish, and I highly suggest basting them if you're going to do this, because it'll make it a lot easier on you later on. Pull this off the heat and let it drain on the paper towel, and don't forget it with just a little touch of salt. And with impeccable timing, our buns are done. They look pretty damn good if you ask me. Usually when I use the beef, they look a little brown and strange looking. But this time, it actually looks like a bun. Now it's time for
The assembly.
which is pretty simple. Split your bun open, take your bottom bun, add your cheese. I completely forgot to get trash cheese for this recipe, but I did have a little bit of cheddar, which is okay. If you want to make this more authentic, add a half slice of trash cheese, because McDonald's is weird and adds half slices of cheese to things. To the top bun, simply smear on some of your tartar sauce, and then lay on that big old chunky fish. And it's looking really damn good and almost accurate. For even more accuracy, square off your fish and squish the sandwich. Personally, I don't need accuracy. This looks pretty damn good. I'm going to take a bite. Yeah, that's amazing. I was never really big on getting fish sandwiches as it is, but if it was like this, I would get a fish sandwich more often. In fact, I'll probably make this again.